AI is completely reshaping how business gets done. Decisions are faster, processes are smarter. Entire industries are being rewritten. But AI is only as good as the data and technology behind it. That's where Oracle comes in. We connect your business end-to-end with a comprehensive suite of applications built in the cloud with embedded AI, so your workflows become intelligent by default. Intelligent agents work inside the systems you already trust, fueled by your own data and deep industry expertise. From finance, supply chain, and HR, to banking, retail, healthcare, utilities, manufacturing, and more. As AI rewrites the rules, Oracle puts you in control. Oracle AI Agent Studio lets you create agents that understand your business. The AI Agent Marketplace opens a world of trusted, ready-to-go agents built by partners certified by Oracle. Touchless finance, talent that finds you, supply chains that see around corners, service that solves problems before they happen, tools that turn customers into advocates. Innovation designed for your specific industry, not someone else's. Oracle Applications, built for your business in the age of AI. Please welcome to the stage Oracle's Executive Vice President of Applications Development, Steve Miranda.
Thank you very much, and good morning, everybody. We are thrilled to be here today, and we have a packed agenda for the next hour or so, give or take. We're going to cover essentially what we have in the complete suite of applications. We'll host several of our customers so you can hear directly from them, lessons learned, best practices, but also the challenges they deal with their business and their industries, and how they're attacking it, how our partnership is working together. And you're going to see several demos. So you've probably at this conference heard a little bit about AI. We're going to talk very little about AI, but we're going to try to show you a lot of AI, so you kind of get a sense of what's coming and what you'd expect, and frankly, for all of you in Fusion, what you already have in your install, in your applications today. So the way we're going to break it down is we're going to talk about, first, everything you need, the completeness of our suite, and why that's critically important. Then we get into the new announcements with innovation that matters, some demos and demonstrations of products, and finally talk about our broader partner ecosystem and how we, Oracle, are committed to your success as a customer. So part one, everything you need. Now, I've talked about this before, but really in the age of AI, this takes a heightened importance. So what do we mean by everything you need? So first off, we have the most complete set end-to-end of applications available. Not only what's generally thought of as horizontal applications, so ERP, HCM, supply chain, CX, but also industry-specific applications. And more our customer base are using phases of their project to either start with an industry and move to ERP, or starting with ERP and moving to industry apps. And we're going to highlight that in the presentation today. But in addition to being the broadest horizontal application, we are also the broadest vertical application. So it's very appropriate I followed Clay's keynote, really a fantastic keynote this morning, because everything they talked about this morning in OCI, importantly including the large language models, is included in Fusion applications. So all of you as our customers, you've been updated to OCI, you get regular updates to the software components, you're moving to autonomous database, you get all the improvements in security and speed and reliability that OCI gives, and now very importantly, because we are the host of all the large language models in the world and the training, those are available and those are what power the AI that we're going to show you within the applications. So it's very critical to optimize business process to have all your data in one place and then have the technology to leverage that. And again, we're going to talk about it a little bit, but especially we're going to show you. As part of that completeness, we also are extremely proud, and I'll paraphrase Safra a little bit, who used to say, our success is measured by your success, our customers. And especially in applications, this is critical. because we have become industry experts in many industries through our close relationships, partnerships, and implementations of all of you. So as all of you go through the implementations, you teach us about your industry, we learn about your business challenges, we work together on developing AI solutions, and I'm going to do more of that in just a moment, to really give you a best-in-class solution and best-in-class partnerships. So that's what we mean by completeness of suite. But rather than me continuing to talk about it, it's my pleasure to welcome our first customer on stage. Let's hear a little bit about them.
For over 100 years, Milwaukee Tool has led the industry with innovative solutions that redefine performance, productivity, and safety for the professional trades. The company has pioneered breakthrough technologies and services that empower tradespeople to excel on the job and return home safely each day. That same spirit of disruptive innovation has transformed how Milwaukee Tool operates. The company recently completed the rollout of Oracle Fusion Cloud applications across its US and Canadian operations, reinforcing its ability to deliver innovation at scale and meet the evolving needs of the skilled trades. Please welcome to the stage Chief Information Officer of Milwaukee Tool, Mark Molitor.
Steve, how are you? Oh, those are fans of Milwaukee Tool or fans of Mark, but thank you for joining us this morning. Mark, I'm sure that a lot of the audience has used your products, seen your products been in use, contracted for people to use your products, but maybe you give a little background about Milwaukee Tool, where you've come from, and then your role.
Sure, thanks for letting me be here. Excited to share our story with you. Mark Mahler, Chief Information Officer at Milwaukee Tool, responsible for our technology strategy and how we're digitizing the corporation. If you don't know our story, Milwaukee's actually over 100 years old, but we've had explosive growth over the last 2 decades. Back in 2007, we were just a $1 billion company. Today, we are $10 billion with 25,000 employees. We focus on the professional trades, think plumbers, electricians, mechanical contractors. And we're known for pioneering breakthrough technologies that help them work more productively and safely on the job site. And we continue to push the boundaries as we try to leverage and provide solutions for things like emissions and noise. And we're now also trying to leverage that same disruptive technology in our business operations, which is really where Oracle starts to come into play.
That's really an amazing story. So a 100-year-old company, but really a long time to get to $1 billion, but then a fairly short time to go 10x from $1 billion to $10 billion, which is incredible growth. So maybe talk about, in that context, what are the business challenges that you face today at Milwaukee Tool, big picture, and what are you dealing with in your company?
So I say at Milwaukee, we are hyper-focused on growth. And we think about innovation and speed as being 2 of the key enablers to accomplishing that growth. So when you think about that, driving efficiency and scalability into our operations is one of our key challenges as we go forward. It's really important in terms of how we're going to do that. So if you think about distribution, expanding order fulfillment, expanding supply chain, those are all key areas of focus for us, where Oracle is playing a significant role. Speed is also critically important for our success. We have to be able to respond to any kind of changing business conditions. A perfect example of this could be just recently we had an issue that bubbled up in our distribution center. And we were able to very quickly configure a new solution, a new process to address that situation, which quite frankly, we wouldn't have been able to do prior to having Oracle in place in terms of doing that. And the last piece of this is also innovation. So we have to continue to innovate to stay ahead of the competition, but also in order for scale. So we're deploying new features, new capabilities on a quarterly basis. We've already started to extend Oracle solutions into other parts of the business. And really what's up next for us is how do we leverage some of the AI capabilities that Oracle is now delivering to us.
Right. So we'll get to AI in a moment. We were trying to set a record for how long we go without mentioning that word, but we'll get there. But let's drill down before we get to AI. You talked about, or I opened with sort of the breadth of the suite. And you talk about the need for the speed across the cycle. So you've implemented really a full suite of applications, CX, ERP, and importantly, supply chain, which is really the heart of your business. So can you maybe describe what brought you that decision to go with Oracle? What brought you the decision to go with the complete suite?
Sure. So a little bit of our story here is, so prior to going to Oracle, we implemented an ERP solution back in 2017. And we actually selected that package about 5 years before that. So you can kind of imagine how the business would have changed over that period of time. That particular solution was highly customized, wasn't vendor supported, and it really lacked a number of the capabilities that we thought that we would need for a growing organization that I just talked about. So when I first got there, we really spent the first year or two really optimizing what we had, while at the same time starting to build out the IT team and building out that go-forward strategy. And what we realized is we really needed a robust solution that could evolve with our business as we continue to grow. I would kind of say this, often to the team, we need a solution that's going to last for decades because we don't want to have to implement another ERP solution again. But we also needed it to be cloud-based. We needed to be able to deliver new features faster, and we wanted to be able to avoid the cost and the effort that was tied to an on-premise solution.
Right.
So really it was those factors that kind of drove us towards Oracle. And I would say we really concluded that we felt Oracle was really the leader when it came to providing a cloud-based ERP type of solution. And then when you couple that with the massive investments that were going into cloud capabilities, we felt like it was a solution that could evolve with us as we continued to grow.
Right. So that's interesting. It's sort of an interesting lesson, maybe painful lesson, to have relatively recently, 2012 to 2017, implementation of ERP, and then seeing the benefits of, let's say, a non-customized, cloud-based, full suite product. So in that context, how are we doing? How are we doing so far? What have been the benefits? Give us some feedback.
So it's been very successful. We wrapped up our journey really in July with our most significant implementation. We did this in a series of phases over a period of time, but we're leveraging the ERP across multiple functions: manufacturing, supply chain, order management, financials. What we're seeing is it's helping us standardize our processes, drive some efficiencies into those processes, helps ensure compliance, and it's helping us manage our data better. With that, we're also leveraging things like Oracle PaaS. We have extensions that provide unique Oracle capabilities that work seamlessly with the Oracle Fusion apps. We also use things like OIC for real-time integration with other applications that sit within that Milwaukee ecosystem. So in terms of actual benefits, one of the key things that we focused on was, how does this help make our supply chain, order fulfillment capabilities much more sophisticated? Our system capabilities prior to this were really originated back when we had a single building for a distribution center. So now we have the foundation in place to expand that distribution, move towards regional distribution model, and reduce a lot of the manual touches that are in that order process. When you think about manufacturing, we have a common footprint in place that drives standard processes for things like planning and scheduling and maintenance across all of our U.S. manufacturing facilities. It's helped with things like export documentation, automating journal entries. Key win in the financial space has just been around how we roll up cost on items. We can now roll up those costs on hundreds of thousands of items in a matter of a few hours. And really, last but not least, we're also engaged with you guys relative to the Smart Operations Initiative, which for us is we're looking to really be an early adopter, in particular around some of the RF technology.
That's perfect. So those of you who remember, we announced Smart Operations. I talked about it here last year, so it's great to see customers adopting. So you covered a wide variety of areas, and I think you said we've completed a journey, but what we've done is we've really gotten live. So now you're running your system, running the multiple warehouses, supporting this big business. This is Oracle AI world. So AI is the topic of the day. How do you, as a CIO of a fast-growing business who's on this launching pad now at cloud, can you tell us, how does Milwaukee Tool think about AI? How are you approaching things? What are you doing?
Well, the good news is I think disruptive technology is core to who we are at Milwaukee, not only in our products, but also in how we operate. So we don't really think about AI as being really a future concept, really think about it being a catalyst for how we're going to transform our business as we go forward. So if you think about products first, there's really no other power tool company that is leveraging AI and machine learning the way that we are. We see AI as a way to enhance the performance, the safety, the value of the products that we provide. A very simple example of that would be the automatic shutoff feature that's on a circular saw. We're also using AI to speed up or accelerate our product design processes so that our engineers can develop more powerful tools faster. But this also extends into our what I'll call our business operations, which is, in particular, I think where Oracle will play an important role. But we want to drive efficiency, and it really happens really in two ways, through some custom-built applications or solutions, as well as out of the box. And that's where we expect Oracle to be a key provider for us in terms of that. Beyond that, we're thinking about how are we going to achieve AI at scale. And we're making investments in how do we modernize the data platform, how do we modernize our core operating platforms, because that's how we're going to be able to capture data, manage that data that's going to drive the insights and the automation that we will need. So Oracle is definitely a key enabler for how we will achieve AI at scale.
Yeah, that's great. All the data in one place, in a single business process to achieve AI. And then, AI driving the design of power tools. I'll see if next year we can get a slide from Larry and a bullet point, but AI changing everything. We'll see if we can talk about that. Okay, in closing, we talked a lot at Oracle about our success being measured by our customer success and the partnership. Can you comment on how's the partnership going, and how do you see the relationship between Oracle and Milwaukee Tool evolving?
Oracle's been at our side through this entire journey across all layers of leadership, across multiple lines of business. We've leveraged Oracle to figure out how do we best, configure the solution. You've helped us set up our future state processes. Where we've run into problems or found gaps in functionality, you've innovated quickly and provided us solutions that have met our needs. We have your product development teams working with our subject matter experts, getting feedback, adjusting those product plans. So I think it's safe to say that we would not be where we are at today without this level of a partnership. And I view this partnership as extremely critical as we go forward, because we want to continue to leverage the Oracle solutions even more.
That's what we like to hear, and that's what I meant earlier when I showed the customer logos. We're learning about supply chain while we're helping you through the implementation and improving our product, and all of you get the benefit of it. Hey, thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so innovation that matters. So now I have a correction to make. So last year I stood on stage and we committed that we would have 100 AI agents available to you in our products. So I apologize, I have to correct that, because over the last year, we actually delivered 600 plus AI agents. And it's 600 plus with a significant asterisk in a positive way, which I'm going to cover going forward. Now, the 600 agents are what's been delivered so far out of the box from Oracle Development. 400 that you all receive in Fusion. There's another 200 that are across the industry applications. And I'm going to show you in just a minute how that's even understated. Now, to give you an idea of what these agents look like in one example, here's where I want to stop talking about AI and start showing you AI. So let's go ahead and roll the demo. So what you're going to see is an embedded AI agent in the general ledger. So it is just a general ledger product, but within the Ask Oracle, you have the ability to invoke the ledger agent. And by invoking the ledger agent, all you're doing is typing, or in fact, talking into the computer, and typing what you want to do. You want to track AP liabilities. That brings up the context of the AI agent, and you set a threshold. And again, this is one example of what you can do. You can set a variety of thresholds throughout the general ledger across anything you want to label. Now, in this particular AI agent, what it's doing is behind the scenes monitoring for that variance. So it's a constantly running agent. It's not like you have to kick off a report. It's not like a finance has to ask IT. And when it, in fact, finds that variance, which it should do in just a moment, you go to your inbox, and there we have it. You have a new alert on the variance. Because these agents are embedded inside Fusion applications, it knows context. It knows you are the finance user. It knows what you have access to. And then importantly, when you get the variance, you can drill down directly into the invoices that cause that variance. There's no more moving between the AP screen and the GL screen. You have the variance surfaced to you directly in context with security. This is a very important distinction of agents that we deliver versus agents that are built outside of an application, which you have to code context, you have to create it in the UI, embedded in the Fusion applications, and included in the Fusion applications. One example of AI agents where you can drill down and take action directly. So that's just one very brief example of and one very brief usage of the general ledger agent. However, if you go forward, we're making significant progress in our customer base. And I'll start, as always, we adopt agents within Oracle itself. And we have adopted over 150 different AI features at Oracle for our end users to make ourselves more efficient. There was a session yesterday where Rondi Ng spoke with our finance group talking about the ledger agent and how we're modernizing and, frankly, further improving an already world-class finance organization. We've done tremendous areas in HCM, including areas that really weren't in the product. So we've deployed a benefits agent, where now any employee around the world, anywhere at Oracle, can ask a question. I'm on vacation in Europe. I need a new prescription. Is that covered? Do I need to have a doctor's permission for that? I'm on a leave of absence. I need to take an extra time. Do I need to renew my COBRA? Is there something I need to do? Any policy question. Now, we've done that importantly. And the way all of the AI agents work, we've ingested the data from Oracle, so the Oracle policy document. However, all the security, all the service levels that we have with you, with your data, and Fusion remain in place. In other words, Fusion does not use your data to train the AI agents. So when Larry talked yesterday about combining the internal data, like the benefits policy, with the external reasoning and power of the large language models, that's what we're delivering with the large language models, with the AI agents. And then the final piece, as an example, is customer support. So we've started to deploy agents both in the support deflection. So if you go and log an SR, you now get an immediate response based on the AI searching our knowledge base. And also to help behind the scenes, our support agents more rapidly respond and answer your questions. We're seeing improved accuracy, improved speed, and no surprise, we're seeing better feedback from you on the SRs by deploying AI agents across support. So those are three examples, one in finance, one in HR, one in customer experience. But that's just a small sampling, because across the entire customer base, we have customers who are big and small who are deploying AI agents today for benefits across the system. Okay, now, I said there was an asterisk on the 600, and that is very much an understated number, because last year we talked about AI agents. Then in the winter or in the spring in London, we announced what we call Agent Studio. And Agent Studio allows you to take the pre-delivered agents that we provide in Oracle. You can modify them, and I'm going to show you that in just a minute. Or, in fact, you can create your own agents. The Agent Studio now has over 32,000 certified experts through OU. Many of our partners, Oracle Consulting, and frankly, many of our customers have done the online training. So not only are we having Oracle development build AI agents, already we have 32,000 people certified to build AI agents. There's a host of capabilities, from being able to do agent teams, tools so you can access business objects directly, topics so you can constrain the AI agent as far as what they're working on, the credentials allowing you to modify which large language model you use and embed it directly into the application, and monitoring evaluation. Now, that was what we did. Last year we announced agents. In the winter we announced Agent Studio. And at this conference, I'm proud to announce we now have the AI Agent Marketplace. And what the marketplace is, we have over 24 partners already signed up for the marketplace. Each of these partners have produced, certified by Oracle Development, at least 5 agents that are available to the agent marketplace. So for you, a Fusion customer, you now have the 600 that I talked about before, plus Agent Studio to build as many as you'd like, plus the Agent Marketplace, which already today, and we are just launching today, has 100+ AI agents available to you, all included. No extra charge. You see an agent that you want, you copy it, you move it into Agent Studio, and you deploy it. Okay, but I said we were not going to talk about AI. We're going to show AI. So what does this Agent Studio look like? Let me try to walk you through a demo for Agent Studio. Okay, so the first thing you see in Agent Studio is effectively the list of all the 600 agents that we have. It's sorted by the product area and the type of agent. In addition to the 600 now, you'll see across the top the marketplace. So there's 102 that are available now from all of our partners. And again, this is the day of announcement. So we've got 100. I promised 100 last year. We've got 100 in the marketplace alone just today. You can drill down into a particular agent to see what the agent does and have a verbal description of it. Or you can modify the agent. So I want to deploy an agent. What I'm going to show you is creating a purchase order from a supplier requisition. So I want to automate that process. So let's drill down into it. I have capabilities for agent teams, which allow me to orchestrate a workflow, which I'll show you in a moment. I have different agents that I can choose from, or different objects. I can have different tools at my disposal if I want to build or modify the agents, so I can review all of those at my disposal. And I can search for different pieces, including MCP protocols, et cetera. I have topics, again, to constrain the agents. All this is pre-seeded for you. It's sort of point and click. I can go and modify the prompts if I want to adjust how the agent works in a little bit more precision, adjust the prompts. The credentials, so this allows you to do integrations if I want to integrate my agent with Google or others. And then finally, I have measurement of the agents, all of which completely available to you with our pre-seeded templates. Okay, but what I want to do in this case is I'm going to drill into the agent, which is, again, going to take a requisition, and it's going to, from that requisition, create a purchase order. But I want to see what it does, so first I'm going to find it in supply chain, and I want to make some modifications. And in particular, what we're going to show you is the way it's configured out of the box, really for purposes of the demo, is to take the upload of an image, create the purchase order, and send an email to a human for verification. Well, I don't want to do that right now. I'm new to AI. I'm a little bit nervous, so I look at the workflow. What I really want to do is I want to have a human in the middle step. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to create that. I simply double-click on the workflow. I click the little plus sign, and I create a human in the middle step. And why am I going to do that? So that in the user interface, as the agent's creating the purchase order, I could have a human review it. Now, again, frankly, that's more for the purposes of the demo, so you can actually see something happen. Because if I create an agent that does it automatically, well, it would do it automatically. So I'm going to create human in the middle going forward. And then I'm going to remove the preceded step at the end, which is a workflow, or pardon me, an email confirmation. Okay, so I've done that. I've added a human review. I'm going to take out the email step. Now, importantly, again, this is an embedded AI agent. So I've had to do nothing to security. I've had to do nothing to the user interface. Now, when I come back in and I log into the purchase order screen, it already knows all the security that you've set up for me in the purchasing department, or me as a self-service purchasing, is known and respected. So when I go here to the agent and I invoke the agent, I don't have to worry about any of that. The agent already knows that. I simply create my create purchase order requisition. I go ahead and I upload the requisition from the supplier, and the agent does the work, character recognition, image scanning, maps it to a purchase order, and I'm basically done. Now, what I have to do as a human, because I added that human in the middle step, is I have to go ahead and approve it. Fully automated agent to create purchase orders, touchless, through requisition, and that is one example of 600 that we've delivered, plus 100 that our partners have delivered, plus, frankly, whatever you want to build as a person. Now, to give you an idea of the speed of all of this, let's just recap. So 2 years ago, we just said we're going to have agent assistants. We added those to the product. Then we said we're going to have agents. We said 100. We've delivered 600 plus. We didn't even talk about Agent Studio. We hadn't introduced that in the middle of the year. We didn't talk about Agent Marketplace. We've now introduced that, and it's taken off. And again, to give you a further idea of how much has gone, we held a hackathon here for customers and partners on Monday. Why don't we roll the video so people get a little flavor of what the hackathon looked like?
You are all here on the ground floor, really building the next generation of applications, and it really starts with agents as a foundation.
There's a lot of energy in the room. There's a lot of people learning.
I'd have to say this class has been very helpful for us and our team here. It's taught us a lot, and I think this is a great experience.
Okay, so if you want an idea, can we go back a slide? Going back to what I promised last year, 100 agents, and we delivered 150 on, sorry, I'm off. Let me go forward a slide. Okay, I'm off. We said we were going to deliver 100 agents. At the hackathon on Monday, we had 150 participants from 66 companies, 18 industries represented, and we built 109 agents on Monday. So I promised 100 last year at the studio. And when I say we, that's being generous because it wasn't Oracle. You built 109 on Monday. So to give you an idea of the speed of innovation that is coming to all of us and the opportunity in front of us is just tremendous and really unbelievable. Okay, now, what I didn't talk about so far in this presentation, but don't you worry, in addition to AI, we've continued the innovation and to continue to deliver industry-specific, as well as feedback from all of you. We're still averaging over 100 features per quarter, per module, not counting AI. So it's AI, yes, to further enhance it, but we're getting tremendous feedback from all of you and tremendous feedback enhancing things, including things like a brand new homepage, improvements of UI, industry enhancements, and much, much more. Okay. Enough of the talking, enough of the showing. Now it's my pleasure again to welcome our next customer from BHE Renewables.
Millions of energy customers and end users throughout the United States, United Kingdom, and Canada count on Berkshire Hathaway Energy's businesses to provide them with safe, reliable service. The utility has earned a reputation for operational excellence and has invested billions in creating a secure and sustainable energy future. As part of its next advancement, Berkshire Hathaway Energy is harnessing AI to revolutionize grid management and demand forecasting, driving efficiency and expanding energy supply to meet rising demand. Please welcome to the stage President and Chief Executive Officer of BHE Renewables, Matt Finnegan.
That is a long walk, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's good. I'm getting my steps in today, going back and forth. Matt, thanks for joining us today. BHE Renewables, can you give the audience sort of context of the company, large scale, and your role in particular?
Sure. I'm Matt Finnegan. I'm the president and CEO of BHE Renewables. And as you saw in the video, we're an energy provider. So we've got over 5,000 megawatts of generation across 10 states in wind, solar, hydro, geothermal, gas assets. We're part of Berkshire Hathaway Energy, which is a larger collection. They own a collection of electric utilities and gas and transmission providers across the US and Canada and the UK, so 13 million customers for Berkshire Hathaway Energy. You and I met as I was in my prior role I oversaw the implementation of ERP system conversions, other large IT system conversions at Berkshire Hathaway Energy companies. I'm actually not an IT guy. I'm a mechanical engineer. Been involved in a couple of billion-dollar construction projects on the mechanical side, and you see some similarities between the two on what's the keys to success from user engagement and design. So on the mechanical side, I've got engineers and maintenance and operations staff walking down systems, getting familiar beforehand. On the IT side, I've got users involved in design and sit testing and user acceptance testing. Training on both cases is important, both before and after deployment. And then making sure after it's deployed, we make it work, and then we make it work better. So you've got enhancement projects and engineers or IT staff ready to do that.
Right. That was very interesting. You talked about, getting down to the line and training. It was in Keynote yesterday. It was talk about getting, was it the best people who know the job or the people who do the job? And so, can you tell us, back up a little bit, and what are, again, the big picture business challenges you're facing today? We've talked a lot about energy at this conference and data centers, and it's definitely a highlight in our industry. But how does your industry perspective and challenges for you guys?
I could talk a lot about a lot of things on challenges, from utilization of AI to cybersecurity, aging workforce. Maybe I'll focus my comments on data and what I'll call perfect informational awareness.
Yeah.
So if I can have all of the right data, if Matt Finnegan or whoever has all the right data, and I pair it with the right personnel in a timely fashion, I'm going to make the best decisions for my business. And so if I think back, 20 years ago in a power plant, if I had a plant trip, if I wanted to know what actually happened, I would walk up to the control room, 5 minutes of doing that, look over the shoulder of the 2 control room operators and look at the trends they happen to be pulling to see what happened. And over the next 5 years, we started digitalization, and you'd get historian data, and it's literally a game changer. So now I've got data in the hands of a dozen engineers at that plant, and I can do multivariable trend analysis, and I've got valve position and motor amps and temperatures and pressures, and I can much more quickly get to the solution to get the plant back online. So when I talk about opportunities for the business, how do I cascade that across all the other areas of my business? So if I'm in supply chain, we order 25,000 transformers a year. Okay, so a lot of utilities we have.
Yeah.
So rather than last year we ordered 25,000, so we're going to tell the manufacturers this year we're ordering 25,000 because last year that's what we used. Now we've gone a little deeper into the planning using data and looking at transformer health to say, here's exactly what we think we're going to order next year.
Right.
Puts us in a better position with those suppliers. They can better plan their work, and we get equipment cheaper, and we get it faster. So how do I do that across finance and safety and other areas to use that data?
Right. Well, that's what I liked about when we talked earlier, the fact that you've sort of crystallized it down into information, the accuracy and timeless information for so many things: business decisions, safety of the employees, forecasting. I mean, one thing, let's get the information right. So with that as the context, maybe it's a little bit self-explanatory, but you also run a very complete suite, including HCM, ERP, field service, and others. How's that going? What has the completeness suite meant to your business and that mission for that timeliness of information?
It's been a journey. So as you know, we've converted 6 different companies over to Oracle Fusion in the last 3 years.
Yeah.
Which is a heck of a task.
And large companies.
Yeah.
These are
large operating companies, and not just the ERP. We did other work as well.
Yeah.
So if you can imagine, the ones that we did 3 years ago are more mature than we are now, but with some of the more recent ones. But going well, I've gone from having SAP and PeopleSoft and EBS into one system. So there's natural benefits from that. Then having the benefit of having Oracle do those quarterly updates to features and functionality, and the security updates and the speed that comes with that. But kind of the reason, one of the main reasons picking Oracle is, Larry talked yesterday about the whole ecosystem.
Yeah.
So for us, on an end-to-end view, maybe I can walk through an example.
Absolutely.
And again, this isn't all of our companies yet, but the ones that were the first to deploy, if I'm a pipeline technician on the East Coast, I've got a work management system that kicks out work orders every day. And I can walk into Oracle Field Services, the OFS module, and I can start to just drag and drop those into my queue. And then I can initiate work with the click of a button.
Yeah.
I can get parts ordered or reordered with that work. When I complete the work, again, click of a button after I've gone on my route. But what did that do? I took, number one, it's doing it a lot more efficiently than it was before. I took a lot of paper out of the process. So from handing out work orders to doing timesheets, this is automatically populating from those actual work clicks to go to OTL and put it into their timesheet. It's feeding the charges over to the projects themselves. So a lot more efficient, a lot less work, better cost for us, more efficiently.
Well, and that's a great example when we talk about the completeness of suite. The reason why I wanted you and said, yeah, go through that example, because that's a fairly normal everyday occurrence, but yet if you had different systems, well, the work order comes from one system, you pass it to a field service, you get to the time card. It's just enormously complicated to hook these things together. And so what have been the benefits so far? What does the business say? What do the users say? How does your view from executive management?
Just the integrations themselves have again, provided efficiency for us, and it's just exactly what you just said. Again, some of these are newer, but having them all in the same system, if you think we just had a major deployment with one of our utilities on July 1st, and the fact that we've gone now with, say, 5 companies before that, the first company had it the worst. These are tough to begin with.
Yes.
But as we've done this over and over, now I've got one common system that everybody's using. I've got standardized processes that everybody are using. So the folks on those 5 companies were helping out now, that most recent one, when they did the cutover on here's what the process should look like. When they ran into issues, a lot of issues are just I wasn't trained on how to do it properly, or I didn't know the process. So it's been good for us.
And you talked about in the context of 6 different companies going, but just for the audience out there, we see this over and over again as you move to the cloud, move to Fusion. As soon as you establish that process with one line of business or one business unit or one geography, it just gets way easier because then everybody just plugs in and sees the benefits. So thank you for sharing that. That's great for everybody. Okay, topic of the day, clearly AI. Business leader in a large, expanding, frankly, AI-related company and industry. How are you approaching the AI view?
So massive opportunity, of course, for us. If you rewound, say, 2 years, which is an eternity ago in AI, but that would have been a year after ChatGPT 3.5 came out, and I would have told you, we're looking at it.
Yeah, that's basically what I said 2 years ago.
Yep. If you go a year ago, we were probably at, we're using a lot of third-party applications, but I will say in the last 6 to 9 months, an absolute explosion at BHE in terms of use, whether it's using Microsoft Copilot or some of the other embedded applications that you have. So if I look at the HCM module, if I'm an applicant and I want to go to our website to look for jobs, there's going to be 100 jobs or more listed. I can upload my resume, and the Oracle AI tool will say, here are the 10 jobs that most fit your skills and experience. Mm-hmm. If I'm in the supply chain management module, and I'm doing a bid event for materials or services, the AI will say, here, you had these folks on the potential bidders list. Here are some more that you can add to that potential bidders list. Right. And then we also got involved with you on our last deployment, in conjunction with Accenture and Oracle, to build a tool that we could ask in natural language. Okay, again, training and business readiness is a big thing. So the users could go in and say, how do I fill out an expense report? How do I fill out a timesheet? How do I get the POET code that I need for these? Right. Which could be a big hang-up for them. So big use of AI.
Exactly. So Matt just covered 2 of the 600 agents, talking about the recruiting, and the agent studio to build their own. So it's a great example. Just in closing, Matt, again, similar to what I asked earlier, how would you describe the partnership? How are we doing? Things we could be doing better? What do you see us going forward?
Partnership is good. Partnership, just like at home or my work, if I've got a good dentist or doctor, I'm going back to them, or a good mechanic. If I've got a good mechanical contractor at one of my plants, generally I'm thinking of a person that I'm going to call. And I've got the same thing with Oracle in terms of, you've helped me out. Mike Cecilia, key to establishing this relationship in the first place, but there's been times when he's pointed me in the right direction. On the implementations themselves, having people like Mark Kennedy who puts a user lens on it for us, which is great. Having that has been great for us. Where do we go in the future? We're on, overall, what we'd like to do, we want to influence the product to make it better and better for the utility industry specifically. And you guys have partnered with us on that. We're on customer advisory boards to do that, not only to make the features and functionality within the product better, but any standard industry products that we have integrations to, making those efficient as well. And then lastly, I'll say, just in a different line, okay, a big part of both of our growth is going to be data centers.
Absolutely.
Right? And so you guys are good at building and operating data centers. There's a big power need. Yeah. You heard Larry talk about gigawatt data centers. I used to run a 1,600 megawatt power plant. So a gigawatt is 1,000 megawatts. So that's essentially, that was the largest power plant in Iowa, and you're essentially putting those everywhere. Yeah. And so between the strength of our companies in what we do, and the partnership that we have together. I hope we can partner on some of those opportunities for data centers where it makes sense, but I think we'll both lead in that area going forward.
Absolutely. Exciting times. Thanks again for your time. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, Matt covered a little bit of industries, I covered a little bit of industries, but now let's really dive into industries. It's my pleasure to welcome on stage my colleague, Simon Walker.
Please welcome to the stage Oracle's Executive Vice President of Industry Applications, Simon Walker.
All right, good morning, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Simon. I'm a member of our Industries Application team. We're going to talk a little bit about some really practical uses in our industry applications of agents and really how we're moving the ball forward. You know, when Steve says we have everything you need to run your business faster, more resilient, we really do mean it. We also mean it in as much as it's built for industries from the ground up, right? Architectures, all of the fine tuning, really meant to suit these very fine-grained, sometimes a little esoteric use cases in business. Oracle 23 AI delivers context-aware search across unstructured data. 26 takes it even further. We have the best infrastructure stack in the world and a suite of applications that's totally unparalleled. That's really the power of Oracle and fundamentally the application advantage. We've shown you this slide a couple of times, but look, I mean, we are the only company in the world that has this much depth. AI everywhere across the platform, from the infrastructure level to the applications, to take full advantage of everything that's possible with AI. No one else touches us here. No one has anything that matches all of this. We're already transforming how many of our industry clients work today and really focused on how do we make sure that going forward, we're leaving them open for the next stage of innovation as we make more complex agents, as we bring more together and unleash the power of these models. It's one seamless connected platform. And remember, you know, if you're a SaaS customer of ours, just like with Fusion, you're already on the infrastructure platform, you're already consuming the database. And so all of this comes to you fairly naturally. And so what we typically see, especially in the industry applications, right, where we're often dealing with very fine-grained issues and very specific client situations, is that when we connect all of this together, we get to a point where really like a single insight from a very singular piece of data can kick off a really complex chain of automated, often really intelligent work, right, that helps you work smarter, helps your customers be more satisfied, and ultimately improves the quality of your product. So we're going to spend some time walking through examples. The first one we're going to talk about is really AI across a portfolio of multiple applications, powered by the infrastructure we've talked about, in an environment you probably all know. We're all utilities customers. We probably already all get a utility bill. So let's talk about one example, multiple applications, and a journey that you're probably familiar with.
You moved into a new home a few months ago. Using deep learning algorithms, your utility understands your energy usage patterns and proactively notifies you. There's a rate plan that will fit you better and can save you money on your energy bill. On the utility website, an AI agent helps you compare rates. Indeed, you would save money each month. You decide to switch. As part of the rate program, you receive helpful tips each week on how to save even more money. You also learn you're eligible for a rebate on an efficient heat pump to replace your old furnace. The offer looks great, and as winter approaches, you're eager to sign up. To put a big red bow on top of your journey, an AI agent sets up a field service appointment for you to get that new heat pump installed right away. From just one stream of data, your utility provider delivered personalized services and significant savings in an automated, connected customer engagement journey.
So our utility used your meter data, right? Understand your usage pattern, identified a better rate, enrolled you in that rate plan, kicked off weekly savings emails, giving you kind of top advice in terms of how to really manage your consumption, and then offered you a rebate on a new heat pump because likely their telemetry said maybe you're running an older device and that there's going to be benefit for both of you. The key here is this is happening today. We're doing this with customers right now, but it crosses across all of our applications. So in the final act, right, we're jumping into our Fusion environment, and with the help of AI and an agent, right, we're scheduling that appointment to install a heat pump. It's automated, it's proactive, and it's beyond, I think, what we used to talk about a couple of years ago, which is, hey, we really want like these very kind of curated, guided digital experiences. This is one that is totally proactive, right? We're identifying something for a customer that's a benefit, and we're able to do it because we've got such tight monitoring of all this data. We know that kind of customers that see that proactive outreach are much happier customers. In the case of customers using this, universally, J.D. Power scores go up. But there's also a business outcome, where ultimately, we have one customer that has already taken about 2 million of call center volume and avoided it. So the customer's happier, you're saving money, the team members that would have been taking those phone calls are working on other proactive activities, and everyone wins. Let's zoom out a little bit and look at this from the company perspective.
The data coming from your meter helps your utility provider improve business operations as well. Let's pretend aggregated meter data flags increase demand in your region. Perhaps a significant increase in new housing development is driving demand up. Utility leaders will need to invest in grid infrastructure to support that growth. With the help of rich data sets, your utility can model more precise project outcomes to make the best investment decisions. An intelligent supply chain ensures the team has all the equipment they need to keep the project on track. AI embedded across HCM ensures utility leaders hire talent with the specialized skills and certifications needed to continue expanding grid operations.
So from a single data point, a single stream of data, right, we've got personalized engagement, we've got operations coming together, we're driving impact for customers, and then from a company perspective, we've got much better telemetry in terms of how the business is running and where we need to go and make sure that we're investing. This is not just about energy costs. We're doing this across patient care, retail, infusion, finding the best talent. And it's really all possible because of this connected platform from the infrastructure all the way out. We're doing this across an immense suite of industry applications. We really are incredibly unique in terms of all of the industries that we address. And every one of your businesses really exists within this kind of fine-tuned industry context that we need to build applications and we need to make sure we're addressing. Generic models are amazing, right? But when you get to some of these kind of very fine-grained contexts, when you get to problems that are generally just about your industry, and frankly, the model wouldn't have learned it from public data, we tend to see where we run into issues. And so the beauty of what we do is we have decades of experience in all of these industries. We've got decades of experience building applications, building processes, and we're now turning that to help us manage the build out of all these agents. We are not simply just throwing sort of models or AI workflows at applications or users. We're building them based on decades of experience, right? And we're making sure, most importantly, that they speak the language of your business, right? And ultimately, when the model is speaking to your customers, when it's speaking to your team, that becomes even more important. We're doing it across this entire stack, all of these application sets. I'm going to walk you through 3 really quick examples of other agents that look a little bit like our utility example in totally different industries. First up, healthcare. So, Oracle Health EHR is designed by industry experts with context up front, and we have dozens of AI agents across health currently released and many more planned. These are things like chart review, care navigation, decision support, risk predictions, preventative care, and many, many more. The goal is to free clinicians up to focus on care and focus on patients. Remove the cognitive load from note-taking, from the kind of clerical work, and focus on the patients. Because of the infrastructure, Oracle 23 AI, the platform, right? We're delivering context-aware searches on unstructured data to caregivers at the point of care. How do I understand what medications are linked to specific conditions? And how do I tie that to kind of giving a clinician the most relevant information about care? This is just a start in Oracle EHR. We've got many, many more to go. Let's look at the healthcare example. We'll give you a little demo here, and then we're going to spin up 2 quick demos behind that. So here's the clinical AI assistant, right? It's documenting for the doctor an appointment. It allows them to coordinate with their teams of providers on an entire patient's record, right? And most importantly, it gets the laptop, gets the iPad out of the provider or the clinician's hand and lets them interact directly with the patient. Super simple, intuitive to use. We're doing this and implementing it in weeks, not months, right? And the training time is near zero. It's basically a consumer app. Construction subcontractor AI assistant. So in this example, we've got an agent that notes for a subcontractor what is holding up their payment for a contractor on a large job. The agent identifies the missing forms, let's say, in this case it's a compliance form, guides the user to solve those to keep the project on track. Subcontractors are typically capital constrained, and these working capital moments are incredibly important for them. I'll give you some examples of where we've seen the benefit. Financial services as well. So this is Financial Crimes AI Investigator, which automates case investigations by analyzing every data point, collecting all the evidence, forming narratives for the investigator, and then really bringing a complete package to an investigator and recommending a decision. We're getting rid of all of the clerical work from these highly trained expert users and allowing them to focus on what we want them to focus on, analytical work. The benefits are real, and we are seeing them now. If I look at the healthcare example, AtlantiCare has seen patient engagement go up, satisfaction among their clinicians go up, and they've seen a 41% reduction in total time of documentation. It's about an hour or more a day for their clinicians, an hour a day. In the subcontractor example, we have 10,000 chats in 90 days. 70% of the users were able to self-service. We pulled those calls out of the call center, out of the support center, and ultimately saved an experience for that subcontractor. Financial crimes, same thing. 70% reduction in manual tasks, and far better results, right? These are not kind of complicated agents. We're committed to removing a lot of the implementation timeline, to making these much simpler to adopt, and making sure that they're incredibly simple for you to adopt in your business. These are out now, generating value for our customers. This is not make-believe. So those are some specific examples. Let's switch gear a little bit and talk about some really practical real-world examples with a couple of companies that are working through this right now. So I'm excited to be joined by two leaders from longtime Oracle customers who embarked on major application transformations. Come on.
Entertainment is at the heart of MGM Resorts' mission. For decades, this company has transformed the Las Vegas skyline and reimagined what a casino hotel can be, bringing together unforgettable spectacle with world-class service. Today, MGM is uniting hospitality with high-tech, rolling out AI-powered chat, robotics, smart rooms, and self-service kiosks. These innovations are built to make every guest experience more seamless, personalized, and memorable. As technology evolves, MGM continues to raise the bar. And for more than 100 years, Helzberg has curated high-quality, fine jewelry befitting life's most meaningful moments. Helzberg is consistently recognized for superior diamonds, ethical sourcing, expert craftsmanship and services, and a commitment to customer service that hasn't wavered since the first store opened in 1915. Today, Helzberg is using the power of AI to delight customers by further personalizing the shopping experience. Please welcome to the stage Senior Vice President Technology at MGM, Ich Chitmala, and Chief Information Officer of Helzberg Diamonds, Art.
Thanks very much. Art, Ish, thanks so much for joining us. I think we're really excited to hear a little bit about what you guys are working on today. So Art, let's start with you. Helzberg Charter since 1915 has been to sort of raise standards with an unwavering commitment to innovation and customer service. Where does tech show up kind of most powerfully in that mission? And how does it help you keep your promise to customers?
Yeah, well, first I'd like to say thank you so much for having Helzberg up here. I really appreciate the stage here. And I think I'm really excited that we're in good company because much of what we heard yesterday is what we're doing too, right? Technology as an enhancement for our people. And so, Helzberg has been known for customer service, for quality, for craftsmanship, for customization, but not necessarily technology. And quite frankly, we want it that way. We want it to be in the background to be able to enhance the customer experience, to help the associate experience. We want those relationship builders to do what they do best, whether that be in a physical space in our stores, a digital space online, and really the space in between. And so as we look at technology, we're looking for ways that are going to reduce the friction, increase customer-facing time, right? Take a lot of those manual processes out of it. So it's my job to make sure that the associates have the tools, that the customers have the information that they need to be able to engage with us. And so over the last 2 years, we've been working with Oracle. We finally launched our ERP just 3 months ago, so we're excited about that. And as we look at where and why we chose Oracle, we needed to make sure that we were on a more modern platform, right? The agility to be able to respond to the market quickly, the speed to be able to put those in place quickly, to reduce the complexity for our associates. And so as the core of our data, right, that's really important to be able to expand on everything else. And then the last thing I'll say is, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank the Dana Levitons of the world, the Jeff Warrens of the world from Oracle, and our OLR partners with Andy and his whole team, because everything that they are doing is pulling in the same direction as a Helzberg associate. There's no way to really differentiate them from us, and so we get to take advantage of all the great work that Oracle is doing, all the advancements that they're doing that we get to take advantage of.
Awesome, love to hear it. MGM's slightly ambitious mission is to entertain the human race, and it's really guided what you guys do for a long time. How are you using tech to deepen that connection with your visitors and your audiences?
Simon, it's great to be here with you and the Oracle team. MGM has world-class resorts, restaurants, and shows. At Technology, our goal is to connect the guests with those and remove friction points across their journey. Over the last few years, we've focused on simplifying the digital ecosystem and strengthening our core systems with 3 principles of secure, standardized, and supported. We have personalized the guest digital journey with smarter recommendations from the very first interaction, an AI-powered chatbot that was on the video as well, that allows the guest to naturally converse like you and I are talking and discover and reserve right then and there within few seconds. We have expanded the ways that the guests can check in, including generating digital keys anywhere. You can basically use your phone, directly go to your room. Your phone is your key. We have increased the investment in our in-room technology, made it easier for our guests to earn and redeem rewards across the digital touchpoints. Behind the scenes, we have heavily invested in our infrastructure, network, and Wi-Fi, completed complex projects like consolidation of our reservation systems, integration of MGM Rewards into Cosmopolitan, and for Marriott guests. Overall, the goal of technology is to remove the friction so our teams can take care of the guests.
That's amazing. You know, both of you are in businesses that I think as a consumer, we sort of, it all happens quite simply and it looks really natural, but they're incredibly complicated. And so for both of you, you know, success, and we talked about this before, right, is really about delivering for customers. Can you sort of share a moment when you saw like a very direct impact of some of the changes you've made in terms of, you know, your guests or your shoppers, where it really impacted their experience? So maybe let's start with you.
Yeah. One of my favorite examples is Opera Cloud, where we migrated from an on-prem system to the cloud. This really captures the essence of what we've been doing for the last few years, modernizing core systems and focus on guest and employee experience. For guests, the impact was immediate. Check-in times reduced by more than 50% at front desk and our kiosks. So that means check-in was less wait time and more smoother. Checkouts became easier with near real-time folio updates and auto checkout applied. For employees, this was a game changer. The Opera Cloud UI is modern, easy to navigate, similar to how we use in our personal life apps. This meant employees could focus more on the guests and make that strong connection with them at the arrival. It was a very complex project for us, involving multiple teams and hundreds of employees across technology, business operations, and property teams. We collaborated very closely with Oracle's engineering, product, and implementation teams. Huge shout out to Chetan and Tanya and their teams for working with us. Park MGM went live with zero disruption to the guest. It was a very proud moment for us because it showed the investment in modernization and improving foundations can have tremendous impact on guest and employee experience.
That's amazing. That's amazing. And I remember it was a complex rollout as well. Art?
Well, I'm hoping that very soon, after our 3-month-ago implementation of Oracle's ERP, we'll have some additional examples to be able to give. I'm confident with all the advancements we're making, we will. And so I'll back it up. We've been on a 4-year journey on our digital transformation. And about 3 years ago, we had implemented our CRM. And as I said before, a lot of what we're doing is to try to get speed to market, right? That agility to be able to respond quickly. And so as we looked at what was ailing our associates, right, to try to give them more customer-facing time, 2 of the things that came up were the challenge that they had with our current clienteling application and the very manual process of getting product that wasn't in their stores. And so having just implemented our CRM, we were able to find a partner that was able to bolt onto our CRM and be able to get that done in a 6-month time frame to get to pilot and then a couple months more for GA. And so, that's the kind of thing that couldn't happen before. And so as we can have the core systems to be able to help us to do that, it helps to make sure that those associates are able to have that meaningful relationship with their customers, to get more access to the things that will matter to the customer to help that relationship grow even deeper, to help them celebrate life's meaningful moments. And so the exact same application allowed us to look at the endless aisle option as well. So now our associates have access when they're clienteling with that application for all the inventory that's in our stores, distribution center, our drop ship. And more importantly, we give them the what's in it for them, because we're able to connect that to allow them to have a lower pressure sales process because they can share that basket with a customer. And so we're trying to meet the customer where they want to shop. We don't want to have a high pressure, must buy it now because it's in our cases. We want you to know that we're developing that relationship with you. And so if that means that you need some time to think about it, we'll make sure that you have that basket so that the product that you're looking at with that associate is right there. So when it makes or when it's time for you to make that decision, you're able to. And then the associate who helped you gets the credit and they're able to clientele you later on. So as Omnichannel continues to be that ever-moving, ever-evolving target that we're after, making sure that we have the right data underlying all of that and making sure that we have the right systems that, again, allow us that speed to market when we don't know what's going to happen in 6 months' time. We don't know what's going to happen in 12 months' time, but having a really solid foundation is critical for us to be able to advance quickly.
That's awesome. I suspect there's plenty of couples where there's lots of pressure to buy diamonds, so you guys don't need to add to it. What role is AI playing kind of for both of you in terms of supporting the strategy and helping in the back office and in your businesses?
Yeah, like we've said before, technology and AI are enhancing the most valuable part of Helzberg, which is our people. And so as we look at the back end, we've been working with Oracle on AI before AI was cool. We've been working on models to help refine where our product is, because as you might imagine, our inventory for jewelry is quite expensive. We have limited case space. We need to make sure that we have the right product in the right place, at the right time, at the right price. And so we've been working on modeling for a while. But I think when people talk AI, we really start to think about ChatGPT put it on the radar just a couple of years ago. And so every technology leader has then been asked, how are we implementing AI by boards and executive teams? Fortunately for us, we're a Berkshire Hathaway subsidiary, and we've got a really good CEO with Brad Hampton, and he allows us to remain focused on enhancing that experience, to reduce friction and add value where it's necessary, whether that's AI or otherwise. And so we are very intentional about when we're using AI. If it's going to help that experience for the customer, again, reduce friction on the back end. So you think, the things that took a lot longer to do, photography, to be able to show you the scale of what the product looks like and enhance that experience as you then know if you're buying online, the product descriptions, the content is a lot faster, and then you have a human who can look at that and make sure that it's there. And then even just giving that to our insights teams to be able to make more insights around our customer. But really, we have an AI council that has team leads from all the different departments. They help us to prioritize where those efforts are. Again, we can stay laser focused and intentional. And at the end of the day, we get to shape our customer experience enhanced by AI. We don't allow AI to shape our experience.
Ish, what about you?
AI is amazing technology. I feel like we are just in step one, and there's so much more to come over the next few years. At MGM, we're taking a very deliberative approach and thoughtful approach to AI, focusing on deeper understanding of the guests and empowering our marketing teams and operations teams to work smarter and better serve our guests. Our goals with AI is to make sure our teams are able to find the right information quickly, complete multi-step, multi-system tasks with a single prompt, digitize the processes and reduce paper, and proactively find issues before they reach the guests. We are taking 3 implementation steps as part of our AI program. 1, deepen our AI usage across our partner systems, including Oracle. All of the innovations that you guys showed today was wow, and we want to continue using them in our finance, supply chain, hospitality. We use AI today within price management, offer generation, and a number of other core business processes. 2, we want to continue expanding our chat platform and intelligent agents for our employees, build a framework similar to the AI Studio to allow anyone to rapidly develop and deploy an agent into production. 3, we want to make sure our intelligent platforms continue to grow and empower our teams to better serve our guests. Overall, our vision for AI is enable our teams to serve our guests, to create the memorable experiences and amplify the human capabilities with heart.
Awesome. Art, Ish, thank you both so much for joining us and sharing some stories. We really do appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right. So let's continue a little bit on retail, and I think sort of try to bring this home, right? You've heard from Mike, Clay, Larry, all the other members of our team about all of these investments, all of these features, and all of the benefits that we see from having a stack that includes the infrastructure, the applications, and by having them be sort of really seamlessly working together and designed to do that from the start. Let's use a retail example to really think about what this means. So certainly, retail is a different industry today than it was even 7 or 8 years ago, right? Supply chains are longer, distribution's much more complex, and customers are far more demanding. Oracle has an incredibly large suite of tools across Oracle. It's about 50 embedded AI agents around this kind of move, sell, buy, plan, life cycle. And they really work alongside and atop all of our applications. So I want you to imagine for a moment, right? You've just signed up for a marathon, your first marathon. Shoes are going to make the difference. You run by to see if you can get a pair of your favorite running shoes, and they're out of stock. I will say I think there's a lot more than shoes between me and my first marathon, but we're going to suspend our disbelief here a little bit. And so the power of what we've done, right, is we've got a database that enables us to work through incredibly complex kind of specific issues across lots of different data sets, whether they're structured, whether they're unstructured, whether they're in different pools. And frankly, most of these problems always come back to the data, right? It's why the data platform, why the Oracle database is such a powerful combination. And really, at the heart of this isn't just about inventory, right? It's about a global supply chain that's got longer, forecast demanding, planning buys, and really moving goods worldwide, which is getting harder and harder. So it's complicated. It's even worse if you've got multiple applications that are all siloed. And what we see with our customers certainly is when we bring those together, one platform that's able to connect together, we get a much different result.
Replenishment decisions may look simple, moving products from one location to another. But behind the scenes, the intelligence is incredibly complex. Oracle AI brings together data from across our suite, CRM for customer insights, RMS and Fusion Inventory for stock positions, Oracle Analytics Cloud for forecasts, Xstore for sales, procurement and order management, and many other systems on a single connected cloud. All of it flows into one decision. Have you seen the result? Joggers selling faster than expected in Shreveport automatically flagged for action. On the right, AI turns complex calculations from across the enterprise into a clear, transparent recommendation. The result is clarity and speed. Thousands of data points across dozens of systems distilled into one simple action a planner can take with confidence.
So one platform, agents working across lots of different data sets, lots of different applications, and it's really only possible if you've got this complete stack, right? Cost-effective, fast infrastructure for training and reasoning, a data platform that can orchestrate all of this work, a database that can work alongside all of your data wherever it might be, and the most complete kind of set of applications and embedded agents across industries and across the horizontals, supported by a team that has an immense amount of experience across all these industries. And of course, we shouldn't forget, right? We deliver it with security, with privacy and sovereignty. So this isn't just powering retail, it's not just powering healthcare, it's financial services, it's public safety, it's energy, it's really everywhere. Connected data gets to better outcomes. We mean it when we say we've got everything you need to run faster, smarter, and with more resilience. Let's welcome Steve back to bring us home. Thanks very much.
Great job. So hopefully you've got a sense of why we're so excited with everything you need, the innovation that matters, and really this is a chance for me to say thank you and our commitment to our success. And it's thank you to a couple different constituents. First of all, our global partner network. So none of this would be possible without our partners, our implementation partners, partners who help us with development, who give us feedback. And for you, the customer, be assured that there's a community out there that's experts, not only in Fusion applications, our industries, as well as AI. So just an incredible thank you to our partners. Also a thank you to our customers. So I've talked about how the hundreds of features, 80% of those features come from customer feedback. So your input in Customer Connect on ideas is used and uses us to drive our products and really bring it home. And then the final slide, just a reminder, I know we're Wednesday about midday. There's still a couple of great solution keynotes in HCM and CX. And of course, you have all the demos, both for what you've seen in the agents, as well as the horizontal apps and the industry apps in one area in the World Hub. And then the final thank you. For years, I've done this, and it's a shame that it's the first time I said thank you, but all of my content, all of my slides, all the demos, Casey Mercé and her team, Natalia, Martin with the demos, and Deb, really make this easier, and hopefully it's very informative to all of you. So a big thank you to the team. Really appreciate it. Everyone enjoy the conference, and we'll see you tonight.